Before the samurai, before the emperors, before even the written word, there was a people who lived in Japan for thousands of years. They left behind extraordinary artifacts, but no written records. Who were they, and what happened to them? The Jomon period, lasting from around 14,000 BCE to 300 BCE, is one of the oldest and most fascinating chapters in Japan's history. These people didn't build pyramids or leave grand stone monuments, but what they did leave, clay pots, figurines, and other remnants, tells a rich story of a unique and enduring culture. Though many know Japan for its samurai and sushi, the roots of Japanese civilization stretch far deeper into a time where these first settlers lived in a complex society with astonishing artistry, deep spirituality, and a profound connection to nature. So, who were these mysterious people, and what can we learn from them today? In this video, we'll travel back over 14,000 years to uncover the secrets of the Jomon people, Japan's first inhabitants. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining us again. And if you're new here, welcome to the journey to Japan. We've got a lot of exciting content lined up, and I can't wait to share it with you. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the fascinating stories we'll be diving into. We'll explore Japan's rich history, its culture, and so much more. Let's explore Japan together. Imagine it. The early Jomon people living in the dense forests of ancient Japan, surrounded by misty mountains and clear rivers. This was a time before written language, before agriculture fully took hold. The Jomon people were hunter-gatherers, relying on the land for food, but they were far from primitive. Their settlements were often near rivers, offering an abundance of fish, wild game, and plant life. They were skilled hunters and fishermen, using tools made from bone, stone, and wood. Evidence suggests they had settled communities, unlike the nomadic lifestyle of many other ancient groups, which means they likely had a complex social structure. But what's most remarkable about the Jomon people is their artistry. They are best known for their pottery, some of the oldest found in the world. These weren't simple clay pots. They were intricate, often decorated with patterns and designs that seemed to speak of a deep cultural significance. Some of these pots had rope-like textures, which is where the name Jomon comes from. Jomon means cord-marked in Japanese. They weren't just functional objects. Some scholars suggest that these pots had a spiritual or ceremonial purpose, used in rituals or to store food during important seasonal cycles. Their creativity in pottery shows us a people who were both practical and artistic, living in harmony with the environment they knew so well. The Jomon people were more than just skilled craftsmen. They were deeply spiritual. One of the most fascinating aspects of their culture is their figurines, known as dogū. These small, often abstract clay figures have been found in many Jomon sites. Some depict human-like forms with exaggerated features, and others are more stylized, perhaps reflecting spiritual beings or deities. Many of these dog figures are thought to have had a ritualistic purpose, serving as symbols of fertility, protection, or connection to the supernatural. The most famous examples have large, wide eyes and seem almost otherworldly, sparking theories that the Jomon people may have believed in spiritual forces far beyond the physical world. Additionally, their pottery designs often included motifs that suggest an understanding of nature's cycles, like waves, spirals, and other geometric patterns. This connection to the natural world, combined with their craftsmanship, points to people who saw art not just as decoration, but as a bridge to the divine and the eternal. Fast forward thousands of years, and today, the genetic legacy of the Jomon people is still being uncovered. Thanks to advancements in DNA analysis, scientists have been able to trace modern Japanese people's genetic roots to these ancient inhabitants. While much of Japan's modern population is associated with the Yayoi people, who arrived later from the Asian mainland, genetic studies show that the Jomon people have a lasting presence in the DNA of the Ainu people of Hokkaido and the Ryukyuans of Okinawa. These two groups are often considered the closest descendants of the Jomon culture, though the story is more complicated. Some researchers believe the Jomon people were the first settlers of Japan, and their genetic influence has persisted through the centuries, even as the Yayoi people and their rice-growing agricultural lifestyle spread throughout the islands. What's fascinating is that, in the Ainu and Ryukyuan populations, certain genetic markers are more closely tied to the Jomon than to the Yayoi, suggesting that while Japan became more homogeneous over time, the legacy of the Jomon people still lives on in some of its minority groups. So when we look at the Ainu and Ryukyuans today, we may be seeing more than just cultural continuity. We may be looking at a direct link to Japan's very first inhabitants. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining us again. And if you're new here, welcome to the journey to Japan. We've got a lot of exciting content lined up, and I can't wait to share it with you. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the fascinating stories we'll be diving into. We'll explore Japan's rich history, its culture, and so much more. Let's continue. Despite their long existence, the Jomon people eventually disappeared, or rather integrated into the culture of the Yayoi people. This transformation likely happened around 300 BCE, when a new wave of migrants from the Korean peninsula brought with them new technologies like metalworking and rice cultivation. There are debates among historians about whether the Jomon people were wiped out, assimilated, or culturally absorbed into the Yayoi society. Evidence suggests that the Jomon's way of life, including their pottery and certain religious practices, persisted in some regions for centuries. Yet the arrival of the Yayoi people dramatically changed Japan's social structure, economy, and population dynamics. Could climate change have played a role in this? Some argue that shifting environmental conditions may have contributed to the decline of the Jomon way of life. Others suggest that the introduction of agriculture and new technologies overwhelmed their traditional hunter-gatherer lifestyle. Whatever the cause, the Jomon era ended, but their legacy didn't vanish. The legacy of the Jomon people extends far beyond ancient times. It's visible in modern Japan in ways that are deeply connected to the country's appreciation of nature, art, and craftsmanship. Even in the bustling streets of Tokyo, where technology and innovation dominate, there's an underlying thread that connects today's Japan to the Jomon people, who lived thousands of years ago. One of the most visible marks left by the Jomon is in the realm of pottery and craftsmanship. The Jomon people are famous for their pottery, which was some of the oldest in the world. Their intricate, rope-marked designs on clay pots and figurines stand out as more than just functional objects. They were expressions of artistry and cultural identity. This ancient tradition is still alive today in Japan's craft pottery. Artists and craftsmen in Japan, especially those in Kyoto, continue to draw inspiration from the Jomon period, incorporating textural patterns and natural motifs into their works. The Jomon approach to functional art, where beauty is just as important as utility, still resonates with Japanese makers today. In modern architecture, we can see the Jomon people's deep connection to nature, reflected in Japanese gardens and traditional wooden structures. For example, the minimalist design that defines much of Japanese architecture often incorporates natural elements, such as wood and stone, which are reminiscent of the Jomon period's reverence for the earth and its materials. Perhaps most striking is the Shinto religion, which continues to thrive in Japan. This spiritual practice, with its animistic beliefs and veneration of the natural world, has deep roots in Jomon traditions. The idea of living in harmony with nature, whether through rituals, art, or daily life, is something that the Jomon people held dear, and it continues to influence Japan's modern spiritual practices. The influence of the Jomon people goes beyond pottery and architecture. It touches the very soul of modern Japanese identity. The Jomon era is often seen as a symbol of Japan's resilience, connection to nature, and respect for craftsmanship. These qualities are not only part of the nation's past, they are central to its present and future. Take, for example, the Japanese spirit of craftsmanship. The Jomon people were masters of their environment, creating intricate pottery, tools, and ceremonial objects. Their attention to detail and respect for the materials they used speak to a broader cultural value that continues today. In modern Japan, craftsmanship is celebrated across various fields, whether it's in the creation of swords, ceramics, or even technology. This focus on precision and perfection reflects the Jomon's deep commitment to their craft, which has been passed down through generations. Moreover, the resilience of the Jomon people can still be seen in the modern Japanese attitude toward adversity. The Jomon survived through thousands of years of changing climates, social shifts, and even the threat of neighboring civilizations. This spirit of survival and adaptability remains a defining feature of modern Japan, whether in the face of natural disasters or economic challenges. The spiritual beliefs of the Jomon people also continue to influence modern Japan's religious practices. The Shinto religion, with its roots in animism, places a strong emphasis on the sacredness of nature, much like the Jomon people's own beliefs. Modern-day Shinto shrines, festivals, and rituals often celebrate the same natural elements that the Jomon revered, such as trees, mountains, and rivers. This connection to nature underscores the continuity of spiritual thought that can be traced back to the ancient Jomon period. So why does the story of the Jomon people matter today? When we look at Japan today, a country that balances ancient traditions with cutting-edge technology, it's easy to forget that all of these innovations have roots in this ancient past. The Jomon people's connection to nature, their unique craftsmanship, and their spirituality are still reflected in modern Japanese values. Japan's respect for nature in architecture, its attachment to history, and even the aesthetic appreciation of impermanence in art all resonate with Jomon cultural ideals. Moreover, the fact that their genetic legacy lives on certain modern populations is a powerful reminder that history is never truly gone. It continues to shape who we are, even if we can't always see it on the surface. So as we conclude this journey into the world of the Jomon people, we're left with a sense of awe and wonder. These ancient inhabitants of Japan weren't just early humans. They were creators, survivors, and spiritual visionaries, leaving behind a legacy that continues to shape Japanese culture today. If you've enjoyed this dive into Japan's ancient past, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the fascinating history and culture of Japan. Next time, we'll take an even closer look at the Ainu people, the descendants of the Jomon, and explore their enduring fight for cultural recognition in modern Japan. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.